Hey Chief, I was not there in 1994. I was not there when Madiba clinched deals with those people.
Right.
If there is any commitment Mandela made with them and then we are going against it, they must go to Mandela. We don't owe them anything.
When US President Donald Trump met with South Africa's president in May to discuss claims of white persecution, they pointed to one video as proof.
Let me see the articles, please, if you would. And turn the lights down. Turn the lights down. And just put this on. It's right behind you.
There's nothing you can do. There's nothing this parliament can do. With or without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. Yes. South African occupy land. That's who we are.
The main man in that clip has been called a threat to democracy, the future president of South Africa, and South Africa's biggest political risk. His name is Julius Malema. How did one man come to mean so many different things to so many different people? This is the story of Julius Malema, and here's why he might just be the most feared politician in Africa right now. Julius Sello Malema was born in 1981 in the township of Seshego, Limpopo. Raised by a domestic worker with no father in sight, he joined the African National Congress Youth League at just 9 years old. His first political assignment was removing National Party posters during apartheid. Even then, he was already fighting the system. By his late 20s, he had climbed up the top of ANC Youth League and became one of Jacob Zuma's loudest defenders, famously shouting that he will kill for Zuma. But his fire eventually burned the wrong people. In 2012, Julius Malema was expelled from the ANC for sowing division and misconduct.
And I'm not shocked or disappointed is because what they are telling us now is what I've been expecting. And their newspaper reported that we are going to be expelled, and it became the reality.
Most thought that was the end of him, but they were wrong. Julius Malema is not your typical politician. He doesn't speak in soundbite, he speaks in fire. And his enemies, they are the white monopoly capital, big business, corrupt ANC officials, and anyone who tries to silence him. Malema's most radical proposal, and the one that has made the world pay attention, was his call for land expropriation without compensation. In his words, the land was stolen. We are not negotiating with thieves.
If anybody thinks in South Africa that you can take the land without compensation, you're living in a dream. Let me put it quite frankly to you. If you want to start a civil war in South Africa, do that. Do that.
He's also demanded the nationalization of banks, mines, and major industries, blaming capitalism for South Africa's deep inequality. His critics say he's dangerous, reckless, and racially divisive. Some even compare him to authoritarian populists. And yet, every time he speaks, millions listen. It's not just what he says. It's a fear that he might actually pull it off. He has repeatedly said that he could one day win enough votes to control the presidency, the economy, and rewrite the rules of the game.
I'm going to be president of this country, whether you like it or not. Yes. And I will preside over the affairs of this country, including presiding over you. I think you must start adjusting to that reality. The sooner you do that, the less chest pains you'll have when that reality comes.
And that possibility keeps the ANC nervous, business leaders awake, and the political elite constantly watching for their backs. For every person who fears Julius Malema, there's another who sees hope in him. To millions of young, poor, and working class South Africans, Malema isn't a threat. He's the only one speaking for them. When no one else was calling out the failures of the ANC, Malema stood up. When students cried for free education, he marched with them. When communities demanded land reform, he gave them a political weapon. He speaks the language of frustration, raw, unfiltered, and direct.
They must know that I'm not Nelson Mandela. Neither am I Zuma. You push me, I push back. I don't play games. You push me, I push back.
And that's why he's built a massive loyal base of supporters, especially among South Africans who feel left behind in New South Africa. To them, Malema is not just a politician, it's a revolution waiting to happen, and they are ready to follow him to the end. Julius Malema might speak for the poor, but critics say he lives like the rich. All over the years, he's built a long list of controversies, legal battles, and explosive headlines that follow him everywhere. First, there's the VBS Mutual Bank scandal in 2018. A forensic report revealed that over 2 billion rand had been looted from VBS Mutual Bank, money meant for ordinary depositors, poor municipalities, and pensioners. The report, titled "The Great Bank Heist," implicated EFF deputy leader Floyd Shivambu's brother Brian Shivambu in receiving 60 million rand. Some of that money was allegedly funneled into EFF accounts and to a company that paid for Julius Malema's luxury lifestyle, rent, travel, and designer clothes. Malema denied everything, saying it was a political smear, but he never took legal action against the journalist or the report. Then there's the fact that he's living a lavish lifestyle. Despite presenting himself as a man of the people, Malema has faced mounting criticism for his expensive taste. In 2011, the public protector investigated him for corruption after he was accused of using a secret trust fund to pay for a mansion in Sandton worth 3.5 million rand. That same year, the South African Revenue Service slapped him with a 16 million rand tax bill. His assets were frozen and his house auctioned. Yet Malema bounced back, refusing to apologize or back down. In fact, he leaned into defiance. "They can take my house, but they will never take my voice," he said at the time. Malema has also been accused of hate speech. Malema's words have also gotten him into hot water repeatedly. In 2010, he was convicted of hate speech for signing the struggle song Dubola Ibono, Shoot the Boy, which a court ruled incited violence against white farmers.
Kiss the poor, the farmer,
In 2016, he told supporters that EFF was not calling for the slaughter of white people, at least for now.
If I asked you to pledge to say, I will never call for the slaughter of white people, would you make that pledge?
I will do it with ease.
Make that pledge.
Why would I do that?
I'm asking you to make that pledge.
I don't.
You said I will do it.
I won't do it.
Make the pledge.
I won't do it.
You won't do it?
Yes.
I understand.
That comment sparked international headlines and alarm. And in 2023, the EFF hosted its 10th anniversary rally at FNB Stadium, where thousands sang the same controversial song again, triggering outrage across the globe.
Alliance, shoot to kill, Yamasa, kill the poor, the farmer, kill the poor.
Then there's his style of leadership. Malema's bodyguards, often seen carrying semi-automatic rifles, have clashed with media and political opponents. He's called journalists stray dogs, threatened police officers, and once said he would eliminate those who stand in the way of the revolution. In parliament, EFF MPs often disrupt sessions, shout down speakers, and physically clash with security. Some call it democracy in action, others call it mob politics. So here's the paradox. The man who fights for justice is also accused of abusing the very system he wants to fix. The revolutionary is also under investigation. The voice of the poor lives like the elite. Julius Malema doesn't just speak politics, he speaks economics, radical economics. And for millions of South Africans still trapped in poverty, his message hits like a thunder. South Africa's economy is still colonial, still controlled by a white minority and a black elite. After apartheid fell in the late 90s, majority rule was introduced. However, the economy still remained the same. 90% of the land was owned by white people, and white people were just 20% of the population. Black people, who made up 90% of the population, owned only 5% of the land. This inequality still haunts South Africa, and according to Julius Malema, the only way to fix it is to burn the old system down.
What type of policy is this? What type of freedom is this? That 24 years into democracy, we are worse than the way we were during apartheid. It can't be.
In speech after speech, rally after rally, Malema makes bold promises. What are these promises? Take back the land without compensation, nationalize the banks and the mines, free education, free healthcare, and free housing. Redistribute wealth on a scale never seen in South Africa before. These aren't empty slogans. They are written into EFF's official policy document. The economic platform is grounded in Marxist-Leninist thought, inspired by Pan-African socialist movement of the 20th century. From Thomas Sankara in Burkina Faso to Robert Mugabe in Zimbabwe. But here's the catch. Zimbabwe tried this before. In 2000, under pressure from war veterans and political radicals, Robert Mugabe launched a fast-track land reform program. White-owned farms were seized, often violently, and handed over to political loyalists with little training or capital. At first, it was called reparative justice, but soon, the economy collapsed. Agricultural output fell by more than 70%. Food shortages became widespread. Hyperinflation reached 89.7 sextillion% in November 2008. The Zimbabwean dollar had to be scrapped entirely. Millions fled the country. For a generation of South Africans, Zimbabwe is not ancient history. It is a neighbor, a warning, a mirror. But to Malema and his followers, Zimbabwe's failure wasn't the idea, it was the execution. They argue Mugabe messed it up. We'll get it right. Critics say Malema is reckless, investors flee when he talks, the middle class shooters, and yes, economists warn that land expropriation without compensation will scare off the very capital in the country that it needs to grow. But to the poor, the unemployed, and the landless, Malema speaks the truth. In a country where over 60% of the youth are unemployed, land ownership is still disproportionately wide, and the economic inequality is among the worst in the world. Malema is offering more than policy, he's offering a lifeline to them. He doesn't sugarcoat it, he doesn't plead, and he promises to take back what was stolen.
As a demonstration of our seriousness to the issue of land, we've never grabbed any farm, we've never taken any land which is in use. We've never done that. But we're using this unoccupied land as a way of demonstrating to the international community and to our government that we are serious about the issue of land. Please put the systems in place, expedite it, otherwise it will become ugly, and we don't want it to be ugly.
For many, that's enough. They don't care if the old order falls. In fact, they want it to fall. That's the power of Julius Malema's message, and that's what makes him attractive to many people. It's about rage, justice, and belonging. Whether it works economically might be beside the point. But what path will South Africa take? Will it choose a different path than Zimbabwe, or will it follow the path of Zimbabwe? That depends so much on South Africans more than on Julius Malema. For now, he's the most feared politician in the whole of Africa.